Welcome to the Delord Theatre. Erected in 1946 and opened for performances in 1947. Staging a wide variety of productions from dance to tragic theatre, art expression to comedy, becoming a hub of passion for the performing arts. You are currently sat in the original equipment storage room, which the theatre discontinued using due to an electrical fire caused by a flood in 1963. This means it is now unsafe to keep any electricals in this room, so the equipment moved to higher ground. Before you move forward with the guided tour, the rules of the theatre, which have been put in place for your own safety, will now be reiterated. It is imperative that you abide by these rules and listen carefully. 1. Do not touch or move anything unless instructed to. 2. Do not stray from the guided route. 3. Do not remove your provided sanitary footwear. 4. Do not make contact or attempt to communicate with anyone you see during the tour. 5. Above all, do not If you feel unsafe at any point during the tour, do not move. Stay where you are and clearly announce, écoute. Keep announcing this word until they collect you.
You may now leave the waiting room. You will be following the arrows on the floor. Turn left and make your way through the double doors. You should have now reached the equipment storage room. You may open the door and head up the small steps to the X on the floor. This is Artie's story.
Artie Bernstein died in 1963 at the age of 58. At the time of his fatal accident, he was working as a caretaker here at the Delord Theatre. On the 19th of October 1963, the lower backstage area, where you are currently standing, became flooded due to heavy rainfall. Artie was working after hours on this night to earn extra money to fund his daughter's school fees. Once he had finished clearing the auditorium after that evening's performance, his attention was redirected towards the sound of running water coming from below the stage. His curiosity and care for the theatre's well-being led him to investigate the disturbance. Upon arriving at the stairs down to this area, Artie encountered water bursting through the cracks of the green doors and flooding the space. Once he had realized that the flooding was unstoppable, he rushed to move the expensive equipment that was kept here to higher ground. This was to avoid damage and the risk of losing his job, as he knew he was alone and would be liable for any unnecessary ruin.
You can see the storage cupboard in front of you. Open this door and enter the space. Stand on the X.
After moving the first box of equipment to the top of the stairs, he raced back down to get more. His wet shoes caused him to slip on the concrete steps and fall backwards, cracking his head open and bleeding out rapidly, leading him to his untimely death. The following morning, he was found by the theatre's artistic director, Marc Beaufoy, who said Artie was face down, drowned in a crimson pool of water.
You should now exit this storage room and make your way up the stairs on your right. up to the main theatre. Please make your way down to the front of the stage and stand on the X on the floor. Do not move from this spot, but you are free to look around in your 360-degree view. This is Ian's story.
Ian Sutton died in 1981 at the age of 38. He was hired by the theatre in 1980 as part of an inclusive programme which aimed to give more people with disabilities opportunities within the theatre industry. Ian was a stagehand for the theatre and, despite his blindness, was very good and enjoyed his job as he was renowned for whistling joyfully whilst he worked. However, he was working in a toxic environment, as although the theatre hired him for inclusivity, most of the staff disagreed with his ability to be a stagehand. He would often find himself at the centre of jokes and pranks surrounding his blindness, with people moving his mobility cane, hiding his belongings, tripping him up and making verbal jokes about his lack of vision. This slowly drove Ian insane, full of confusion and frustration. One night, on the 13th of January 1981, midway through a performance of The Crucible, Ian Sutton dropped from the lighting rigs above the stage, hung by a rope. At first, the audience thought this was part of the show, until it became apparent that the cast were deeply disturbed by the limp figure swinging above them. The death was labelled as suicide, as a result of the bullying Ian suffered at the theatre.
Please take a seat. You will shortly be told to remove your headphones. When you take your headphones off, please place the blindfold over your eyes. When you need to put your headphones back on, you will hear this sound through the theatre speakers. Only remove your blindfold when the sound has finished. Remove your headphones now. You should now follow the arrows leading to the wings on stage right, and make your way through the double doors and down the stairs. There is a set of windowed double doors. Walk through them. Follow the arrows to your right. Walk down the corridor to the end room. Stand on the X. This is Isabella's dressing room. This is Isabella's story.
Isabella DeFranco died in 1948 at the age of 23. She was a promising, elegant, upcoming star in the industry, known locally as Manchester's Monroe. The Delord Theatre was staging a production of The Rose Tattoo, in which she was given the role of Serafina Del Rose.
Can you please turn the tap off to your right? Carefully return to the X.
As an Italian immigrant, she already faced scrutiny in the workplace from other cast members. However, her good looks and the admiration from the male presence in the industry led her to be targeted by envious young actresses wanting to be in her position. In particular, Betty Russell, aged 26, who had also auditioned for the role of Serafina, but was cast in the ensemble, developed an overwhelming spite and jealousy towards Isabella. In particular, Betty Russell, aged 26, who had also auditioned for the role of Serafina, but was cast in the ensemble, developed an overwhelming spite and jealousy towards Isabella. Betty begrudged Isabella's talents, but also the male attention she received, specifically from the director, Matthew Pennington. This led to an unhealthy obsession by sabotaging Isabella, in an attempt to bolster her chances with Matthew. It began with destroying her makeup, ruining her clothes in the wash, and spiking her drinks with sedatives to affect her performances.
In front of you, a rail of clothes. Please make an opening in these clothes and step through them. It's okay. You can sit in Isabella's chair. She won't mind.
One night, during an evening rehearsal, Isabella collapsed mid-scene as a result of the spiking. When she came round, she mistook it for fatigue and was given a 10-minute break in her dressing room. She was followed and sexually assaulted by Matthew, who saw this as an opportunity to take advantage of her. Betty's curiosity sent her into a violent spiral when she saw Matthew, rather satisfied, walking away from her dressing room, leaving Isabella unconscious in her chair, lipstick smeared. Rather than finding help, Betty found a corkscrew in a gift basket of flowers and wine by Isabella's door. In a fit of rage, she repeatedly stabbed Isabella in the side of her neck until her beautiful face was twisted and unrecognizable. My face!
Go through the red door.
Thank you for following our guided tour of the Delord Theatre. If you experience any headaches, blurred vision or ringing in the ears for the next 48 hours, you should check your water pressure and avoid prolonged exposure to mirrors. If symptoms persist,
Come back.
you may now remove your headphones and return them. Have a nice day!